Thank you for stopping by Moonlit Tarotscope to get your January 2020 love reading. This reading is going to be about you and really someone else. Okay, so it's going to be your person of interest, the one that you love, the one that you're crushing on. You'll figure it out as the stories unfold. This is an energy reading, which means that energy can flip-flop and the story can flip-flop. And I want to apologize in advance for my microphone. I said something's wrong with it. I got to get that baby fixed. Anyway, moving forward, let's get started and let's go on with you guys in love for January 2020 for my beautiful Libras, my friendly Libras. One thing I was thinking about before I turned on the camera is how Libras are kind of like everybody's friend and also their own best friend. Good at placing boundaries. Just want to throw that out there. It just kind of came up. So let's see if that has anything to do with this. What is going on with Libra right now? How is Libra feeling towards their partner at this time? Let's see what we got, guys. Excuse me. Nine of Pentacles in reverse, Knight of Wands in reverse, Ace of Wands in the upright. Interesting, I've had a similar spread for Virgo. Right next door. Your right next door neighbor. Let's see what way. Some of you kind of feel this passionate burning desire within you, but you also feel like you're going to lose something that you've worked really hard to get, or that you have to share something of yours in order to get this love in, this new offer of love in, or this new feeling of love. For some of you, I feel like you might be with someone and it's just like there's a part of you that feels like you have to put something more into it. You're going to lose something in order to get more love. There's also some player energy around you guys. So I'm picking up on a little bit of grumpiness from y'all. You seem like a little irritable. You might be frustrated with your partner because they might be all playing games, and here you are wondering whether you should share your coin with them, share yourself with them, your life, your resources with them. And some of you feel like the only way you can do that, the only way you can have them in your life and have that passion in your life is if you go against your own grain and do things you're not quite into. For example, maybe you're dating someone who you know is seeing someone else, but you're not ready to let them go yet, and you know that they're still into you, but you feel like they're playing around with you, and you're kind of at a point where, look, I have this stuff, I want these things, I've worked so hard for these things in my life, and I want this new love of life in my life. I want new love. New love can be in the form of a baby, a new relationship, or a relationship you're in being re-inflamed in some way. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm getting from you guys. Let's see how your partner feels, and we'll get into this a little deeper, guys. How does Libra's partner feel about Libra, January 2020? What's going on with Libra's partner? How are they feeling toward Libra? It's almost like you guys have to play a game, but you're sick of the game. You don't like it. You're like, it's starting to cut into my day-to-day. So see about your partner. Could be dealing with a Pisces. Why do they feel like they won by not being honest with you? Why do they feel released by not being, it's almost like they have this like, oh, I won kind of vibe, but they're kind of going against their own principles as well. It's like the two of you have to go against each other's principles in order to stay together and make this happen. But that person is not done yet, but they're close to being done with this whole holding back, not sharing their secrets, maybe they're afraid. Maybe they're afraid that you would look down their nose on them if they told you the truth about certain things in their life. Definitely someone's withholding the truth. Like there's a feeling of not on it. Like no one's being like super upfront honest. I mean, I understand it's okay to like burp in somebody in front of someone. Like that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like small dishonesties, small things, but they begin to add up, and then you start to wonder to yourself, you're like, you know, do I have to play this? I am playing this game with this person, which is going against my principles, and yet the person that you're dealing with could be a Sagittarius as well, is kind of like looking at it like, well, if I don't approach you in this way, I won't get, you'll be done with me. I feel like you'll be done with me. You'll let me go. You won't like me. So there's a part of your partner that feels like they can't be themselves with you. They can't totally be themselves with you right now at this time. Let's see how your energy is going together. How is the energy aligning up between the two? Then we'll get into the nitty-gritty, guys. I do feel like you guys want to commit, but there's a lot of concern. There's a lot of worry that if things come out, if the truth comes out, then either you will leave and you'll be sharp-tongued about it. You'll say something to him and run off, which would somewhat embarrass them. But at the same time, I have this beautiful Four of Wands between the two of you, which is just letting me know that, you know, this whole situation with this not being honest, 100%, you feeling like you're having to put in more effort, they're feeling insecure that if they're honest with you about themselves, that you will leave them. But together there is a clash of emotions. We have the Five of Pentacles, we have the Princess of Swords, and then the beautiful Four of Wands. So let's take a look at this Princess of Swords. Why do we have this Princess of Swords for? How Libra's energy is intertwining. I almost want to say, I heard electrifying. There's something about talking with this person that really gets you going. But at the same time, some of you might be dealing with an earth sign, and that could be bringing you down a little bit as far as like, I want to go off and have these I want to imagine, I have that imagine all the people, you know? Imagine all the people. Imagine what they'd say. Living their life in peace. Right, yes. Okay, so you guys are wanting peace. I think you guys have a pretty little outlook on life, okay? And the person that you're into is super attracted to you too. So that is, and they love you. I do feel like they love you. But I think they might have a little bit more of a spoiler effect. Like don't tell me the story before, like, it's somebody that has sort of like a more negative outlook than you. And there's nothing wrong with that. Or it could be you with the negative outlook, Libra. It could be swapping back and forth. That's kind of like on your nerves, kind of getting you down, and you're just snappy and you're like, stop ruining my mood. Stop, you know, making it everything so negative when, you know, I feel so great when I'm with you. But there's some worry. I feel like there's some worry that like if you guys take this relationship to the next level, that it could be a mistake. And that maybe other people have been telling the both of you not to move forward with this relationship. But you guys definitely have a bond with the Four of Wands here. There's some definitely like stability between the two of you. And I definitely feel like you guys are just trying to create a life for yourself that is full of sun and love and happiness. And this person doesn't believe that that's a possible, like a way that you could possibly live. And you're like, yes, it is, you know. Please join me on my, you know, sunshine and rainbow ride, because it's real, baby, and it is real. Like, I want to go on this ride with you. You guys have a lot of light within you, and so this is a grounding energy. So this is good, and this is good for you. Being air and ground is good because you guys kind of even out each other's out. But at the same time, right now, you may be short with someone, okay? I'm just going to be honest, Libra. You guys might be coming off as being a little short with somebody because they're kind of like, because they're on your nerves. They're just on your dang nerves. Like, every positive thing you said, they have a negative to say. And I know in my life, when that happens, I just stop talking. I just, like, stop talking, all right? Like, okay, just be miserable, because obviously whatever solution I'm bringing to you is not good enough for you. So, you know, this is going to be about boundaries. I feel like you guys are putting up boundaries, though. But what is this fear? Why do we have, the 5 of Pentacles here, feeling of being left out in the cold? Ooh, I feel like this might come from your partner and from you as well, actually. I feel like some of you, let's see here. Ace of Wands in reverse. Ooh, this is what's bringing down your energy and your passion, guys, is the worry and the stress. The Knight of Swords in reverse. 6 of Wands in the upright. It's almost like you feel, some of you are feeling pressure to stay in the same old relationship, to stay in the same old place, and to not make any changes in your life, and to not do anything different, maybe from other people or outside sources, or maybe even from your partner. But at the end of the day, it's a new year, guys, and everybody's feeling this energy. Everybody's feeling this energy, this need to, there's like this self-pressure to just, like, you know, pick something and go for it. You know, stop sitting on a fence, make a decision and run, you know. For me, it's been kind of exhausting. Honestly, my health hasn't been great. But for y'all, it's almost like, it's like you want to win the argument, but you don't want to win the war, because you don't want this person to necessarily leave, but you are poking holes in a lot of their philosophies right now. And instead of them going, that's something that I should ponder or think about, which is what I do when I get, you know, constructive criticism, depending on who it's coming from. Definitely if it's coming from a Libra, I listen, because Libras don't do that often. Yeah, you guys really need something to change. I mean, you feel heavy. Your heart feels heavy, and your heart feels trapped in a way. But the two of you definitely have a solid connection, and you definitely have passion between you. It's just that it's stifled by some outside influences, right? And there is a really heavy, there's a very strong something coming off of you, Libra, where you're like, I'm tired of giving in just so that I don't have to argue anymore, but I'm tired of the argument. But now I'm just feeling like I can't speak my truth. So who are you and what are you doing in this relationship, Libra? Because I feel like you're a bit lost in the relationship, that you're not quite owning your frustrations and owning your truth with this person. But they're doing the same thing to you. You guys are tiptoeing around something. There's an elephant in the room and nobody's saying anything. But at the same time, you're the one that's beginning to feel defeated. You're the one that is beginning to feel more and more like, you know, disheartened. It's like a bird not getting out of their cage. You know what I mean? So it's a conundrum, because you're just like, how do I fix this? You know, I want to stay with this person. I really do. These just popped out. So we had the Wheel of Fortune reverse and the Hangman in reverse, and they just popped out. I wasn't even getting ready to start on the rest of the reading. Let's see what messages these two have. We have an Aquarius here and a Sagittarius card. It is, yeah. You guys both need to look at things differently. Otherwise, right? Otherwise, things are not going to go your way. You guys are fighting an uphill battle. And I hate to say this, but I see this on both sides. it just might be actually expressing itself in a different way. So your partner feels like they can't share a part of you because they're looking at you like as if you would judge them. And you're shutting down as well because you're just sort of going like, I don't want to start an argument I can't win. And yet my own opinions and feelings about things, which are very important and very strong and real and important, Libra, you're not able to get that across. So there is a massive communication breakdown going on, and this is so indicative of what's happening right now with the all the astrologers are talking about relationships being highlighted at this time, and the differences of, you know, how really to be yourself and stick with somebody and make it a partnership. I mean, that's going to be you guys' for some of you, I heard this too. For some of you, this is something you've been working on a long time. Nothing I'm telling you isn't something you've already felt before, but you're really at a point now in 2020 where you want to get to a resolution. You have to change your way of looking at things because you can't change what your partner does, right? You really have to change the way you're looking at things because the way things worked before are not going to work for you moving forward. They're not going to work for you in 2020. Things have got to change, but unfortunately, you only have control over yourself. So how do you do this? How do you let your partner know, you know, I want you to be more honest with me. I want you to be real with me. And by the way, I have an opinion too, and I would like to share it. I'm not here to debate. I would just appreciate if you listen to my side of things and like possibly take that into consideration. Because this person cares about you, but they also they feel like a little bit shut out, and they feel like by shutting you out, in some way this is, ooh, I got the sun. In some way this is a good thing. So this is going to be the advice, you guys. Wow, major arcana for the advice. We got the sun card, Leo. We got the Empress, beautiful, feminine, strong energy of manifestation, right? And then we have the Chariot. This relationship needs to go to grow. It needs to move. It needs to go. You guys are stagnant. It's been stagnant for way too long. You have beautiful, positive energy that you want this light to shine in your life. You really do. This is what you want to manifest in your life. And that's going to include your partner. How do you do that without your partner? You want to bring your partner along. But it's a risk. It's a risk. The Chariot is a risk. Okay, so I don't know if you noticed with the Chariot, but this guy does not have any reins. He allows the universe, or, well, these little creatures down here, the sphinxes, to decide which direction he's going, right? And so when that is the case, you have something new and beautiful and beautifully feminine between the two of you. And it's a warm, happy place where both of you want to go. And so with this being advice, it's just basically like, go ahead and manifest something new. Try something new. Throw it out there to your partner. And your partner may not pick up what you're putting down like right away, okay? But if you stop putting it out there, okay, you are going to lose the sun here. You're going to lose the sun, Libra. You can't let anybody just hold you down because they're not willing to at least allow you to be yourself, at least allow you to express what you think is right and what you think is fair, because it's so important that you do. Libra, you have very good skills of discernment. You know right from wrong, okay? You don't ever like letting anyone down, and I get that. But puffing up someone else's ego just to keep them around, it's killing you. So stop doing it. Stop doing it. Put everything you can into this Chariot. Everything you can. Bring all of your new ideas and all these new things you're trying to manifest in your life into 2020, okay? Point toward the sun, because that's where you want to go, babe. You want to live a life of light. You're so sick of the heaviness, and just let go of the reins and see what happens. All right? Let's look at most likely outcome if Libra does follow that advice and just sort of lets go of the reins, okay? But you gotta be you, guys. You've got to be you. I mean, obviously there's times where you have to compromise with somebody and you want to hear their side out. But when is the last time they've heard your side out? Okay. When is the last time have they said, okay, what do you think? And instead of interrupting you in the middle, actually listen to everything you had to say and said, you know what, I'm going to think about that before I make a decision or form an opinion. Or I really want to know who you are and where you're coming from before we take this to the next level. Because if you don't, what are you doing? You're already stepping into a lie because it's not your truth. So this whole reading is just about desperately needing to change the way that you look at things, the way this relationship is going, the way the relationship is going, regardless of whoever this is for. It has to change, because otherwise you're going to start developing bad karma. And it's the kind of karma that's like, it's just kind of like, because you are continually ignoring the truth that's in your face every day, right? And eventually the universe is going to intervene, okay? Because they don't want you walking around like a robot, okay, Libra? Neither do I. And neither does your partner really, all right? So what's up with your partner? Let me go back and check in with these cards. But they want to be right all the time. Oh boy, this is something else. They want to be right all the time, and they can't seem to let go of that. I guess it's just a matter of deciding what personality traits, okay? Obviously, you can't change someone else, but you can change the way you act toward them, react, you know, how much you give and how much you take. What are you taking? What are you taking? If you're expending your resources, but you're not even allowed to be heard, what are you doing this for, right? Is it because it's a safe place? Because your safe place now is going to be someplace new. And I don't necessarily mean moving on from this relationship. I just mean period. I just mean in your life. In any life. Like you've got to go somewhere else. In your mind, with your relationship, the way you look at things, you know? It's almost like, okay, so if you have here's a good way to look at it. If you have an immediate reaction to something and you're like, oh, hell no. No, I would never do that. Blah, 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 blah. Right then, let that be your sign that is something that you need to open your mind to, because guess what? If your partner sees you doing that, maybe even just on the littlest level, maybe they'll begin to let down their guard too, because they feel this very, like, there's love here. I feel like this is a loving relationship, but it's also sort of it's a stifling one. It's deadening, right? So let's see what what is the most likely outcome for these two in matters of the heart with Libra and their loved ones. By the way, this could be for Libra. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and or cross watchers are welcome. 9 of Swords. You know, it probably will get ugly, because at some point, I mean, how long do you have to avoid are you avoiding the ugly? I think that you are. Okay. But you're allowing somebody's bad reaction to dictate how you behave. So if you're allowing how you think someone else is going to react to dictate how you behave, what does that mean? Are you living your truth? Are you under control? Are you under somebody's thumb? And then we have the Magician in reverse. So, you know, what do we have the Magician in reverse for most likely outcome? You know, I don't know if your partner is up to making the changes that they need to make in order for you to avoid all this pain that you... Temperance, yeah. For somebody you're dealing with someone that's just very stubborn, very dismissive of your opinion, and this is really driving you crazy. And I don't know if they'll be able to change or not. But don't deny your magic. And we have the Temperance Angel here watching over this relationship and watching over this whole thing. So ultimately, it's just like, you know, you guys have a lot of love to give. You have a lot to think about. You both have to give an inch. You both have to give an inch, and then you can take a mile. If you give an inch, they take a mile, but they feel like if you give an inch, you'll take a mile. You guys need to give miles and take away an inch. Okay? Tell them how you feel. Just tell them what's up. Tell them what is up. Okay? And be sure that the words that you're using are coming from a place of truth and realism, and not just from a place of, well, if I say this, then I'll get this reaction. And I'm not trying to say that you're those kind of people, but it's really easy to fall into that, into a relationship. It's just to try to be like, I don't want to deal with this today. So I'm feeling drained. So I don't know. I feel like some of you guys are feeling drained. And, you may just need a break from this person, because it could just be, I think with the Temperance card here, the Temperance angel is just like, it may just be too much. So just, you need to pull back on everything and then kind of like figure out what matters to you. What are the things that really, really matter to you about this relationship? What are on it gives you a feeling of like disappointment or almost depression. It's almost depression, guys. So watch the signals. When you're going along with your day and you're going on with your relationship and you have that response to something, that's where your perspective needs to change, Libra, because that's the only thing you can do, as you know, okay? But I don't want you guys adjusting yourselves so much to someone that it's going to cause you just a ridiculous amount of pain. It's almost like we've got the Nine of Swords and then the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. It's almost like being, that song, Shadow Boxer. I don't know if y'all remember it. She's a shadow, but she wants to be ready for what you do. So she's like always in waiting, and she's just ready for what her partner does. So she can respond, she can launch, she can weave. She's a boxer, right? So I don't really feel as like the shadow boxer is on the offense. I feel like the shadow boxer is on the defense. Well, stop looking to your partner to validate your own truth. It's not like, for some of you, I almost feel like for some of you, it's like, you feel like if your partner agrees with you, then you've made your point, you've won the war, and now you can rest. Your partner is not the end-all be-all of who needs to agree with you, okay? You're probably right about whatever this is, okay, Libra? For one thing, I'm going to say that I probably would agree with you, but I'm not in the situation with all the emotional attachments, right? So ultimately, this is going to be about crafting and finding a way methodically, okay, to express yourself in a way that feels honest and good to you, okay, and not allowing yourself to be shut down anymore, just not allowing it to happen. Just saying, if you don't want to be in my life anymore, you got to get to the point where you got to not just let them go. I don't mean let them go, walk out. Everybody has relationships. Everybody's dealing with stuff and life stuff. But what I'm saying is, I think for your partner, the question is going to be, what is it going to take for you to respect my opinions? Because that's what I'm feeling. It feels like a lack of respect from them. You don't feel respected. So therefore, you're not respecting them, and it's a cycle, blah, 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 blah. That's why we need the Chariot to come in and whisk you guys away in a completely different direction, okay? So that you can start something new and start, it's almost like, opposition is great, because with opposition, you have, it makes you think. If you have someone that wants to argue with you and doesn't agree with you, it makes you think a little bit about things. And you could possibly, like, if you're an open-minded person, you can look at all sides of the aspect and maybe you'll change your opinion. But at the same time, you're tired of being the one to change your opinion. Or you're tired of having to be fake. Because how long can you just sit there in silence? Really? How many meditations is it going to take? Honey, that's not meditation. That's disappearing from you living within your own self and living within your own truth. Okay. The problem is communication, figuring out how to communicate with people. So that's where you need to sit down and think, maybe write out what it is that you need to say to your partner next time before you go on a texting frenzy or a phone call, like where that things are escalating. Just stop that shit from escalating and say, look, I know that that's what you do already, but what I'm saying is just find a different way to approach it. Find a new approach. Find it. Know that it's going to, if you know someone's going to if you know going into a conversation that someone is going to respond to you in a negative way, if you know that going into the situation, then how would you reframe that conversation going in? Maybe with a little bit more of more clarity. Use your words, Libra. Maybe with a little bit more of a approach, like the deal. Think that you pretend that you're approaching a skeptic. You're dealing with a skeptic. Fine. Have all your defenses, instead of defending yourself after, defend yourself in front. So they're speechless by the time you get to your point, if they allow you to make it to your point. And you deserve that. You need that, Libra. So I hope this has given you some food for thought. Let me go ahead and peek on the bottom of the deck and see what we have. Overall vibe for the whole reading, absolutely beautiful. Ace of Swords, air element, brand new intuition, epiphanies, things that were dark are coming clear. And I feel like you guys are a little bit in the dark and that you want to live in the sun. I really do feel that. You got the Ace of Wands as well when I was just talking about your energy and your energy alone. So, wow, this is pretty cool, Libra. And I really hope that this has given you some kind of idea on how to move forward on this relationship. I didn't go too much into what they're doing and what they're up to, et cetera, et cetera. If you want to get into the Snoopy stuff, okay, which basically is what spirits will allow us to hear anyway, you can always email me at moonlittarotscope@gmail.com to get a private reading. My private readings start at $30. So they are affordable. I'll just set up a time to speak with you, and then I'll call you at that time, okay? For some of those of you that have been watching me for a while, I want to apologize if I have been a little bit distant, but I have had a lot of health issues going on along with my family. So it's just been not a lot of energy for the readings. But trust me, this is the first, like the second I have any energy, this is the first thing that I do. Talking, I'm open. And so it has been a blessing and an honor to do your reading, Libra. I love you guys so much. You're my truth sayers. So the fact that you're being blocked right now, it hurts me too. Okay? I love you guys.